The helm of a boat is pretty similar to what you find in a car, so you would be forgiven for thinking that the two drive the same.
It may look like a car, Nick, but it doesn't behave like a car. There's a few things that you need to get your head around when driving a boat.
If you've spent some time in boats, this will all seem pretty self-explanatory, but if you're new to the scene, here are a couple of tips to help you on your way.
One of the first things you need to bear in mind is that the power and the steering, the thrust and the steering is at the back.
Andrew, think forklift. Now that comes with its own set of issues. If, for example, you leave your pontoon in forward like that, you will crash, Drew.
I'm just demonstrating what not to do, Nick.
Perfect.
Having the steering and thrust at the back isn't an issue in open water, but in tight spaces it can cause problems because the back of the boat will move in the opposite direction to where you want the front to go.
This can be unhelpful. Don't be afraid to use reverse gear. The stern will go where you point it and the bow will generally follow.
Remember, if you need to get out of a tight spot, backwards is your friend.
Probably one of the most technical aspects of driving a boat, Andrew, is the notion of trim, where your outboard is in relation to your transom.
Nick, you control it with a little button on your throttle, up and down, and it's about finding the right place.
When you take off, typically you'll have your engine trimmed all the way in, and that will allow your boat to come up onto the plane nice and flat. Then it's about deciding what sort of trim state suits the water you're travelling across.
The simple rule of thumb is trim in when heading into the waves. That keeps the bow down and the sharpest part of the hull to carve your path. Conversely, trim up, heading with the sea, gets the bow up and the hull surfing down the back of the waves without ploughing in.
A bit of up trim in calm water makes steering lighter and improves fuel economy. The important thing about trim is to use it. A properly trimmed boat will run rings around one that's out of whack.
Give some thought about the load on your boat. I'm talking about eskies, maybe fuel tanks or batteries. You want everything nice and even. More to the point, you want your passengers nice and even. Watch this.
Oh no, that's no good. We're on the point of capsize. I'm not happy.
Nothing ruins a boat's ride like having it lay over on its side. Clever hull design is immediately undone as the flat sections slam against waves.
Adjust the load of people and things to keep the boat on an even keel. Boats also have the habit of leaning over into the wind, so your load arrangement may need to change as conditions do.
There are also rules of the road that you need to get your head around. The difference between a red and green.
Andrew, and it's important that everybody can do it intuitively so as we're all on the same page, because the last thing you want to do is run into something like that. That would make you a goose.
Licence day is about the only time you'll ever be quizzed on your nautical knowledge, but as the skipper of the boat, you are responsible for the safety and well-being of everyone on board.
You also have a responsibility to other water users that you'll do the right thing and act in a safe, predictable manner. It never hurts to brush up on the rules.